Hey everybody, we're gonna do some turning today. We're gonna make another yarn bowl. Got a piece of cherry here that came from my friend Jason. Thank you, Jason. This is about 11 by 4. I'm gonna make this the bottom and this the top. I got a wormwood screw because I'm gonna core something out of the middle. It's a big enough blank that I should be able to get at least another nice cherry bowl out of there. So that's where we're gonna start today. I have the lathe on the lower gear set for more torque. This isn't that big a blank and it's not that heavy, but that's just where it is for right now. So I always have a tendency to set the tool rest a little too high. I mean, I think generally speaking, I would rather be too high than too low because you're more apt to get a catch if it's too low. But I think that in order to get a proper cut, it probably needs to be more toward the center. So I'm gonna try that. I'm starting out with my 5/8 bowl gouge, and this one has a 60-degree grind with swept back wings on it. And it just wasn't really cutting all that well. It didn't want to stay in contact. I couldn't keep the bevel in contact with the wood. I know that it's just getting it round, but it just was not going well. And you'll see when I switched to the 40/40 grind, this is a 1/2 inch diameter bowl gouge, but it has the 40/40 grind on it. It's just cutting a lot better, and I don't know why. There isn't really any reason that it should, but that's the reason that I don't wed myself to one particular grind or style of gouge, because sometimes one of them just works better for whatever reason. I'm gonna drizzle some of this thin Starbond Ultra Thin down in this little, I'm not even sure what that is, a little crack, a little, don't know, but just because. All right. For that gouge. And in this case, the 40/40 gouge was just trying to take off too much material, and because it's a 1/2 inch, it was complaining. So then I switched back to the 5/8 gouge, and it seems to be doing fine. So don't be afraid to change tools if, you know, a particular piece is giving you trouble. So right here, I'm leaving a little bit of raised material, and that's where the ring is going to go around the bottom, and the bowl will sit on top of that. And that's another part of the design that Hula does on his that I really like. I think that that his joke is if you like it, put a ring on it. And I do like it, and I am putting a ring on it. So this is another throwback to Hula and his amazingly sexy design for yarn bowls. Because I'm going to core this, I'm going to leave the top edge alone and flat. I'm going to go ahead and mostly shape the bottom just because I have it more accessible at this point, and I don't have coal jaws, so I have to use a jam chuck when I take the tenon off, and that can be problematic sometimes. This here is the poor man's laser guide for the woodcut system. I was going to buy one, and they had been out of stock forever, so I sort of jerry-rigged something, and it's not perfect because it's a little bit wobbly, but it does work. I have a long hex bolt coming out the bottom of the same size socket, which is the same size as the bolt on the woodcut system. And there's a heavy-duty magnet that holds that in place, and a threaded coupler on the top, and then the rod that holds the laser. This actually wouldn't be terrible, except that I can't get the laser to stay on. I can't get quite the right size coupling to make the laser stay on and be steady. So I have to hand hold it, and that's obviously not super precise, but it works for now. So now I'm going to go ahead and start working on the overall shape. And I really like the design that Hula's got on his. This one is a little bit shorter than normal. It's a larger bowl than the one I did before, and I think a little bit less deep, but that shouldn't be an issue. So I am going to go ahead and round the top over more like a calabash bowl. That, and leaving it thicker on the bottom and a little bit thicker overall, just so you have some weight to it, definitely helps when you're using it. It helps it stay put. Because this one is so wide, it won't be even remotely tippy. Undercutting this rim was a little bit tricky. I really had to be leaning awfully far over the lathe bed trying to get the angle right to keep the bevel in contact, and I did not succeed with that all the way. Which just makes the cleanup a little bit more complicated. You know, the more you go back, it seems like you take care of one tool mark and then you leave another one, so I would probably have either straddled the lathe or maybe even stood on the other side if I could get around it, but it's right up against the garage door, so I have to just make do with what I've got. I suppose I could have put it in reverse and come at it from the other direction, but I managed. What I'm trying to do here is get the very edge of this cleaned up and finished before I take the rest of this out and get this any thinner. I'm having a little bit of tear out on the end grain. This is pretty dry. So I think I'm going to get rid of a little bit more of this so that I can clean this a little bit up. I think that I've got the very, this first like 3/4 of an inch is ready to go. I'm going to clean this up a little bit more, still leave some of this mass in the bottom. Okay, now my plan is to not come back here. So if y'all see me doing that, holler at me. Say, quit it. Now I'm gonna start finish cutting this, which is close. Yeah, I am. Okay, I am going to put my trend respirator on and sand this, and I will be back when I'm done and we're ready to start doing the hook. So I'm doing therapy on my left shoulder, which likes to dislocate randomly. And it is irritating my tendonitis so badly that I'm trying a little band to help hold that in place so it stops being angry. Ooh-wee, look at that pretty thing. I sanded to 320 just because it's going to be harder to sand once I cut the hook in it. So I'm going to put the hook on this side here. Take this knot out and sort of follow this curve. Let's see. I could conceivably drill the hole here, and then maybe not quite that far down, maybe this one. Well, let's give that a whirl. Okay, here I go. I'm drilling a hole. The knot is not happy. I wonder, hold on a minute. All right then, let's try these guys. That's kind of terrifying, isn't it? You know, I think I'm going to back down to a 3/4. My safety glasses on. And hold on for dear life here. Okay, design change. Crap. I didn't think it was going to be that aggressive. All right, so then what we're gonna do is incorporate that boo-boo. So instead of, let's see, let's go from here. Delete this one because okay, now just gonna have a bigger hook. Hold on, let me erase all of the things so I can see what I'm doing and incorporate these cracks I just put in this beautiful bowl, because why not? All right, so that's fine. Okay, do not use these things. Not cutting on the knot is going to make this Forstner bit work just fine, I think. Okay, let's try this again, and let's try not to break it. Shoo! Okay, that was scary. And we begin the shaping. Generally speaking, I'm a let's do everything with power tools kind of a girl, but in this case, I really prefer cutting the hook with the coping saw and doing the vast majority of the shaping with files and rasps and heavy sandpaper. I just find that I have a lot more control over it that way. That knot in there is going to be an issue. I'm afraid that it's going to be sharp, or at least it's going to catch the thread, so I'm going to try and cut it out, and when I determine that it still isn't going to come out as much as I want it to, I'm going to get the Dremel and just kind of shape it. I've got it's either a Kutzall or a Sabertooth brand carbide burr on the end of this Dremel, and I'm just going to use that as the workhorse and then come back and clean it up some more. I figure doing all this stuff with hand tools is just going to help my shoulder therapy, but I gotta tell you, it was already pretty tired from therapy this morning, so this has been a long day here. Hula covers the back of his sandpaper with duct tape before he does this sanding. I have not done that yet. The sandpaper that I have is some pretty heavy-duty industrial cloth backed, and I don't have any issues with it ripping or tearing. But if you try something like this and you do, then give that a shot and see how that goes. Oh, that was ridiculous. But I salvaged it. So I sanded through 600. I'm just gonna put a couple of coats of shellac on it because I'm not sure what kind of finish I'm gonna do. I ordered some of this Renaissance wax, which is what Hula uses on his with Danish oil. And if I'm gonna use this Renaissance wax, I can't put anything else like Brad's that has the tongue wax in it. So what I'm gonna do is just put some shellac on it and then think about it. And if I decide I'm gonna try the Renaissance wax, then I will probably use the tried and true Danish oil, which is polymerized linseed oil, and then this on top, or I'll use Brad's tongue wax. What I meant to say is if I'm going to use the Renaissance wax, then I can't put anything on there that has a different kind of wax in it. I could put tongue oil on it and that would be just fine, but Brad's tongue wax finish has tongue oil and wax, so I need to do one or the other. I don't know if that's going to slip on there or not. We'll find out. Reviews lately, which as far as I'm concerned is really cool. I'm more than happy to get these products and test them out. And I know that some of you guys are not real interested in that, and I totally get it. This is always going to be primarily a wood turning channel, probably some occasional woodworking of, a more general nature. But I may add some things to it that would be in a different lane. So if you don't like those videos, then that's totally cool and don't watch. I hope that isn't gonna scare you away from, sticking around and watching the turning videos or whatever it is that you do enjoy. So having said that, just be aware that I know that you guys are not, watching this channel because you want to see every review of a laser engraver. But I have found a lot of uses for it in wood turning, so I'm happy to take a look at them and then be able to, pass them on. It's a big one. What's the matter, Squirter? Is nobody paying you any attention? Bailey Boo. He says, you're not the one I want. Piss off, lady. Are you pathetic? Where's your piggy? Where's your pig? There he is. Here's your piggy. Oh boy. That's a nice boy. Your pig needs another bath. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, you all be safe out there.